Welcome to another exciting episode of World Numismatic Finds, where we uncover the top 5 rare UK shilling coins that collectors simply can't resist. Today, we're spotlighting some truly desirable pieces: the 1951 shilling in very fine condition with its proud lion seated on the crown, the 1948 issue showing its classic yet outdated charm, the 1963 shilling featuring the lion standing boldly beside the crown shield, the 1954 circulated piece bearing the iconic three-lion shield, and the 1961 coin in good condition, another classic of the proud British design series. These 5 shillings don't just hold history, they hold profit potential, making them irresistible to collectors hungry for standout UK treasures. Let's begin with the remarkable and much-admired 1950 UK One Shilling coin, a beautiful piece from the mid-20th century that continues to capture the imagination of collectors across the globe. This coin, particularly when found in very fine condition, remains a treasured reminder of Britain's post-war cultural strength and the enduring artistry of its national coinage. Its appeal only grows with time, and many collectors consider it one of the more interesting shillings from the reign of King George VI. The journey of this coin begins during an era when shillings still played a vital part in everyday life, representing stability in a recovering nation. Struck in cupronickel following the removal of silver from British circulation, the 1951 shilling coin stands as a symbol of the practical yet beautifully crafted design choices of the period. On the obverse, the effigy of King George VI gives the coin a sense of stately presence. His portrait, created by Thomas Humphrey Paget, reflects the consistent dignity and strength often associated with his reign. On the reverse, the charm of the lion seated upon the crown immediately draws attention. This imagery represents authority, unity, and the proud heraldic tradition that has shaped British iconography for centuries. It remains one of the most recognizable designs among mid-century British coinage. The cultural value of this coin extends beyond its design. It serves as a link to Britain's heritage and the final years before decimalisation reshaped the national currency system. Collectors appreciate how this piece encapsulates the essence of the 1950s: resilience, pride, and an evolving society. Many numismatists treasure coins from this era because they showcase the balance between functionality and artistic expression, making each surviving specimen a small but meaningful part of national history. The weight of the 1950 shilling, at approximately 5.65 grams, gives it a solid feel in the hand, a reminder of the durability and quality of British minting standards. Its size and composition, combined with its fine detailing, make it a desirable coin for those who enjoy both tangible craftsmanship and historical storytelling. Even after decades in circulation, examples that survive in very fine condition display clear definition in the king's portrait, sharp features in the lion and crown, and minimal wear across the fields. Collectors often highlight several key characteristics that make the 1951 shilling particularly attractive. Its clear detailing, historical relevance, and strong representation of mid-century British identity contribute to its ongoing desirability. While millions were minted, finding one in genuinely very fine condition is becoming increasingly uncommon as natural wear, corrosion, and decades of handling have removed many superior examples from the market. As a result, coins that retain crisp imagery and strong features tend to attract more attention and achieve higher values, especially among dedicated collectors seeking quality additions to their pre-decimal sets. In today's numismatic market, a 1951 shilling coin in very fine condition can command a value that reflects both its scarcity in high grade and its historical demand. Many collectors in the international market, particularly those in America, regard this coin as an affordable yet meaningful piece of British heritage. Market values may vary slightly depending on clarity, luster, and the overall eye appeal of the coin, but examples in very fine condition often trade around $40,000 to $60,000 to potentially higher amounts when the specimen displays exceptional preservation or strong collector interest. While the coin may not be at the top of the rarity charts, its appeal continues to rise due to its condition-based demand and its connection to King George VI. Collectors interested in acquiring this coin are encouraged to focus on details such as the sharpness of the king's portrait, the condition of the lion seated on the crown, and the absence of heavy scratches or corrosion. Proper storage, gentle handling, and keeping the coin away from moisture will help preserve its appearance for future generations. For those building a complete George VI shilling series, this coin is often considered essential, not only for its design but also for its representation of a significant transitional moment in British currency history. As we conclude this deep dive, the 1950 UK One Shilling coin stands out as a cherished and meaningful piece, prized for its artistry, historical richness, and increasing desirability among both beginner and seasoned collectors. It remains a coin that tells a story with every detail, from the noble portrait of the king to the regal lion perched proudly upon the crown. For anyone passionate about preserving British heritage through numismatics, this coin continues to be a worthy and rewarding addition to a growing collection. Next up, the 1961 1 shilling coin, carrying the proud English shield adorned with the 3 lions, remains an appealing piece of pre-decimal history, especially when found in good condition. This particular year captures the elegance, symbolism, and heritage that define mid-20th century British coinage, making it an attractive choice for both seasoned collectors and newcomers growing their collections. To appreciate its significance, it helps to understand the era in which this coin was produced. The early 1960s were a time of transition for the United Kingdom, with pre-decimal currency still circulating widely and forming the backbone of everyday financial life. The shilling, worth 12 pence in the old system, was one of the most familiar and frequently used coins in the country. By 1961, the Royal Mint maintained high minting standards while preserving long-established hand-engraved details, giving each coin an unmistakable character. King George VI had already passed, and Queen Elizabeth II was still at the beginning of her long reign, adding an extra layer of historical interest to coins bearing her youthful portrait. When examining the coin closely, the design reveals its full charm. The obverse portrays the young Queen Elizabeth II facing right, sculpted with refined and delicate detail that reflects the optimism of her early reign. On the reverse, the English shield stands boldly at the centre, with the iconic 3 lions passant guardant, symbols of English strength and authority, resting within the medieval heraldic shield. This is crowned neatly above, giving the piece an imposing yet graceful presence. In good condition, the raised surfaces remain defined, the lettering stays legible, and the heraldic elements retain a clear sense of depth and texture, making the coin attractive for display and study. There is cultural significance connected to this design, as the 3 lions have represented English identity for centuries, appearing in royal arms, medieval banners, and ceremonial traditions. The shilling itself was central to daily British commerce, used for groceries, wages, and transport, a denomination with real practical importance. By owning a 1961 piece, collectors often feel they are holding a small but meaningful part of British life before decimalisation changed the nation's currency forever in 1971. Its mixture of artistry, heritage, and everyday historical relevance gives it a warm nostalgic appeal. The coin's specifications add to its collectability. Struck in cupronickel after the discontinuation of silver in shillings, it weighs approximately 5.65 grams, giving it a comfortable heft that feels solid in the hand. Its consistent composition means many pieces survived decades of circulation with minimal corrosion compared with earlier silver issues. In good condition, a 1961 example typically shows light wear but still retains most of its original detail, making it visually satisfying while remaining accessible to collectors. There are several noteworthy points that enhance the desirability of this particular year. The 1961 mintage was substantial, but surviving coins in strong condition are always favoured because the shilling circulated heavily across the UK. Most examples were used continuously until decimalisation, meaning cleaner, well-preserved coins are appreciated by collectors who seek pieces that still showcase the beauty of their original engraving. Though not considered extremely rare, good-condition pieces always attract interest due to their historical charm, pleasing design, and affordability, which encourages ongoing demand. When assessing its rarity and present value, the marketplace remains fairly steady. A 1961 1 shilling in good, honest condition often trades in the range of about $15,000 to $20,000 US, depending on sharpness of detail, eye appeal, and whether the coin shows any unusual characteristics. While the value is modest, interest stays strong because many enthusiasts collect these coins by year or by design type, and this particular reverse, featuring the English shield, is a favourite among those assembling Queen Elizabeth II pre-decimal sets. As collectors become increasingly nostalgic for mid-century British currency, demand for nicer grade examples continues to grow. For anyone hoping to add a 1961 1 shilling to their personal collection, a few practical pointers go a long way. Choosing coins with minimal surface marks, clear lettering, and a well-defined portrait of the Queen will ensure a desirable purchase. Handling the coin carefully, preferably by the edges, keeps its surfaces clean and prevents unnecessary wear. Storing it in a protective holder or album also helps preserve the coin for years to come. Building a complete run of shillings from the 1950s and 1960s can be a particularly enjoyable project, and the 1961 issue fits perfectly within such a display. Bringing everything together, the 1961 1 shilling stands as a delightful piece of British monetary history. Its graceful artwork, national symbolism, pre-decimal heritage, and availability in attractive grades make it a compelling coin for collectors of all ages. Even with a modest price, its story, beauty, and connection to everyday life in the early years of Queen Elizabeth II give it an enduring and meaningful place in the world of numismatics. Whether for nostalgia, investment, or the simple pleasure of collecting, This coin continues to shine brightly in the eyes of enthusiasts everywhere. Next up, the UK One Shilling coin from 1948, carrying the iconic image of the lion seated proudly atop the crown. Even in outdated or heavily aged condition, this coin remains an exciting find, especially for those who appreciate pieces with deep historical character and undeniable charm. It is one of those coins that instantly transports you to the era in which it was struck, offering not only monetary interest but also a genuine sense of British heritage. To appreciate its significance, it helps to look back at the landscape of the late 1940s. Britain was emerging from the hardships of the Second World War, adjusting to shifting global politics, rebuilding its industries, and preparing for a new era of coinage and currency policies. The 1948 shilling was produced during a time when the United Kingdom was still using pre-decimal money, long before decimalisation reshaped the nation's financial system in 1971. The coin bears the effigy of King George VI, representing a monarch whose reign was defined by wartime leadership, resilience, and the transition toward a modern Britain. The 1948 issue carries this story within its metal, making it more than just a simple form of currency. It is a piece of living history. When examining the coin itself, the head side presents the dignified portrait of King George VI facing left, surrounded by the traditional Latin inscription that reflects his titles. This portrait is clean, refined, and instantly recognizable, providing the familiar royal presence that many collectors value. On the reverse, the design is particularly striking, the British lion seated confidently upon the crown, symbolizing strength, authority, and unity. This imagery reflects centuries of heraldic tradition and national symbolism, making the 1948 One Shilling not only visually appealing but also culturally meaningful. In outdated condition, the wear and aging can often highlight the rugged authenticity of this design, giving the coin a sense of story and survival that pristine examples sometimes lack. What makes this coin even more appealing is the cultural significance behind it. Shillings were once an essential part of everyday life in the UK, used in markets, shops, and households across the country. They represent a currency system that many people today only know from history books. The lion-on-crown design echoes the strength of the monarchy and the unity of the United Kingdom during a time of great change. Owning a 1948 shilling is like holding a small but meaningful piece of British identity, an object that connects modern collectors to the values, trials, and triumphs of the post-war era. As for its physical attributes, the coin was struck in cupronickel, making it resistant to corrosion and able to stand the test of time. It typically weighs around 5.65 grams, giving it a solid, satisfying feel in the hand. The size and composition were standard for shillings of that era, with the 1948 issue being one of the early non-silver years following the discontinuation of silver content in 1947. This change marked an important turning point in British coin production, and it adds another layer of numismatic interest for collectors who appreciate transitional pieces. There are several key factors that contribute to the appeal of the 1948 shilling. It is an early cupronickel issue. It features the admired George VI portrait and the classic lion-on-crown reverse, and it carries a strong connection to post-war Britain. Although it was minted in large numbers, surviving examples with eye appeal, even in outdated or heavily circulated condition, are becoming steadily more sought after as collectors revisit mid-20th century British coins with growing enthusiasm. Many collectors value the 1948 shilling for the story it tells, and that alone keeps demand healthy in today's market. In terms of rarity and condition, the coin is not considered rare in a technical sense, yet coins from this period are increasingly being gathered into personal collections, making pleasing examples harder to come by in the open market. Outdated condition does reduce premium to some extent, but it does not eliminate collector interest, especially among those who appreciate the patina, wear, and aged character that reveal a coin's long life in circulation. The 1948 date still attracts collectors who specialize in George VI coinage, pre-decimal sets, or significant transitional years, giving this coin a steady and positive presence in the numismatic world. When we look at the current market value in dollars, a 1948 One Shilling in outdated condition often sells within the range of around $20,000 to $22,000, depending on the degree of wear and overall visual appeal. While it does not command high premiums, it remains a desirable and affordable entry point for collectors, especially beginners or those building historical sets. Its value lies just as much in its numismatic and cultural relevance as it does in its monetary price, and that keeps it a strong and interesting coin for modern collectors. For anyone interested in collecting pieces like this, the best advice is to focus on coins that still show clear details on both the portrait and the lion-on-crown design. Even in aged condition, a coin with strong outlines and visible lettering has a far better long-term appeal. Keeping your coins in protective holders will help preserve their condition, and researching the history behind each piece will greatly enhance your collecting experience. Building a set of George VI shillings, or pre-decimal British coins more generally, is an enjoyable and rewarding project that will give you a deeper appreciation for the craftsmanship and heritage these coins represent. As we wrap up this journey through the 1948 One Shilling, it is clear that this small cupronickel coin holds a surprising amount of historical depth and cultural importance. Its connection to the post-war era, its timeless design featuring the lion and crown, and its enduring appeal among collectors make it a truly engaging piece of British numismatic history. Whether you are an experienced collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of old UK coins, the 1948 shilling remains a meaningful and accessible addition to any collection. Thank you for joining me, and be sure to stay tuned for more discoveries as we continue uncovering the treasures hidden within Britain's rich coinage past. Next up, the 1954 UK One Shilling coin, a piece that carries with it the unmistakable character of the post-war era and continues to attract collectors with its proud heritage and striking design. This coin, even in circulated condition, holds a special place in the world of British coinage, as it reflects the transition of a nation rebuilding itself while still preserving centuries-old traditions in its currency. As we explore its story, its details, and its current value in the collector's market, you'll discover why this particular shilling remains a desirable addition to any collection today. The history of the 1954 One Shilling takes us back to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, as this coin belongs to the early years of her rule. The shilling itself had already existed for several centuries as a long-standing unit of British currency, valued at 12 pence in the old pre-decimal system. During the early 1950s, the United Kingdom continued minting coins in cupronickel while maintaining many traditional design features from earlier reigns. This period was significant because it marked the introduction of Queen Elizabeth II onto British coinage for the first time, an event which modern collectors appreciate for its historical importance. The 1954 issue, though not the first Elizabeth II shilling, still belongs to that treasured early period and has become increasingly admired as time goes on. When observing the coin itself, one immediately notices the contrast between the obverse and reverse. On the front, the coin displays the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, engraved by the esteemed artist Mary Gillick. Her uncrowned profile, facing right, is smooth, elegant, and symbolic of a modern yet traditional monarchy. The delicate detailing of the hair and facial features offers a timeless impression that collectors never tire of studying. Turning the coin over, the reverse showcases the traditional English crest, a shield containing the iconic three lions passant, a symbol steeped in centuries of heraldic history. Above the shield rests the crown, representing authority and unity. This pairing of powerful imagery with classic craftsmanship gives the 1954 shilling an instantly recognizable identity and adds to its charm for collectors of British heraldry and royal symbolism. Beyond its appearance, the cultural and historical significance of the coin is equally meaningful. The 1 shilling denomination played a major part in everyday life in the UK before decimalisation, so coins like the 1954 shilling passed through the hands of workers, families, businesses, and travellers. It acted not only as a means of trade but also as a shared cultural experience across generations. The heraldic shield on the reverse speaks of England's royal past, while the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II represents the country's new era of hope and continuity. This coin bridges eras in British history and holds sentimental value for many who grew up using shillings in daily transactions. Collectors often appreciate these connections just as much as the coin's metal or rarity. The technical details also play an important role in its appeal. The 1954 1 shilling was struck in cupronickel, giving it a pleasing silver-like appearance with long-lasting durability. The weight of the coin is 5.65 grams, making it light enough for daily use but substantial enough to feel solid in the hand. Its diameter of 23.5 mm was standard for shillings of that period, ensuring it fit neatly into the coinage system of its time. Even with wear from circulation, these physical characteristics remain part of what makes the coin so recognizable and admired today. A few important facts help place the coin in perspective for collectors evaluating its desirability. Although the mintage figures for 1954 were not extremely low, surviving pieces in appealing condition have become more sought after, especially as early Queen Elizabeth II coins gain more recognition among modern collectors. Many circulated examples show handling wear, surface marks, or dulling of the original luster, yet even in this state they are still valued because of their historical placement and design. The English three lions shield variety, such as this one, remains particularly popular because of its heraldic imagery and national symbolism. When it comes to rarity and condition, a circulated 1954 1 shilling is not considered exceptionally scarce, but its demand has steadily increased due to rising interest in mid-20th century British coins. Collectors appreciate that this coin is from the early years of Elizabeth II, and any coin tied to the beginning of a monarch's reign tends to enjoy renewed attention. While high-grade uncirculated examples naturally command stronger premiums, circulated coins like the one we're discussing still hold firm demand among enthusiasts who enjoy completing date runs or building affordable, historically rich collections. In terms of market value today, the 1954 1 shilling in circulated condition generally sells in the range of around $28,000 to $30,000 US, depending on eye appeal, wear, and overall preservation. Some particularly attractive circulated examples may achieve slightly higher prices when sold to collectors who prefer early Elizabeth pieces with good detail. Prices can fluctuate lightly depending on online interest, auction activity, and overall market enthusiasm for British pre-decimal coinage, which has remained strong in recent years. For those building a collection, acquiring a 1954 shilling can be an excellent starting point or a valuable addition to an ongoing set. It is advisable for collectors to examine coins closely for sharpness of the portrait, clarity of the lions on the shield, and overall surface quality. Even circulated coins can present surprisingly attractive detail, and choosing one with minimal scratches, corrosion, or heavy discoloration can make a noticeable difference in presentation. Handling the coin carefully, storing it in a protective holder, and keeping it away from moisture or abrasive materials will help preserve its character for years to come. Many collectors find great joy in owning such pieces not only for their history but also for the sense of continuity they provide within a growing numismatic collection. As we conclude, the 1954 UK 1 shilling stands out as a charming representation of Britain's post-war resilience, its enduring monarchy, and its deep-rooted heraldic traditions. This circulated example may not be the rarest piece on the market, but its beauty, its historical significance, and its strong collector interest give it lasting appeal. It offers both seasoned numismatists and beginners an accessible yet meaningful coin that carries the story of a nation and the grace of a young queen's early portrait. Whether added to a dedicated shilling set or kept as a standalone treasure, this coin remains a delightful reminder of the rich heritage of British currency and the timeless enjoyment of coin collecting. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from the year 1963, presented today in fine condition. This particular coin, featuring the distinctive design of the lion proudly standing beside the crown shield, carries with it the flavour of an era when the nation was still using pre-decimal money and traditional symbols of monarchy and heritage were displayed boldly on its coinage. As collectors around the world continue seeking coins that connect them to Britain's rich numismatic story, the 1963 1 shilling remains an appealing and increasingly noteworthy find, especially when preserved at a level of quality that keeps its historic details clearly visible. The story behind this coin begins long before 1963 itself, rooted in Britain's centuries-old system of shillings, florins, and pounds that defined everyday commerce until decimalisation in 1971. The 1 shilling piece represented 1/20th of a pound, and it was a common unit of exchange across shops, markets, and households. By the early 1960s, the UK was going through cultural change, economic shifts, and a modernising spirit, yet its coinage still carried the traditional motifs that had symbolised the nation for generations. The 1963 1 shilling, issued under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, reflects this fascinating blend of historical continuity and mid-century progress, making it an attractive choice for collectors who appreciate coins that stand at the crossroads of heritage and change. As for the artistic representation, the obverse of the coin bears the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Mary Gillick. This portrait is well known for its elegant simplicity and its depiction of the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, a classical emblem symbolising dignity and leadership. The reverse showcases the celebrated lion beside the crown shield, an arrangement that was specifically used for English shillings of this period. The lion stands as a symbol of strength, guardianship, and national pride, while the crown shield reinforces the monarchy's central place in Britain's identity. Even in fine condition, the lion's stance, the shield's lines and the lettering around the edge remain clear enough to appreciate the skill of the engraver and the aesthetic charm of early 60s British minting. The cultural and historical importance of this coin becomes more meaningful when one recognises that by the time of its issue, the United Kingdom was navigating post-war development, expanding international influence and preparing for the eventual shift toward decimalisation. Coins like the 1963 1 shilling serve as miniature time capsules, preserving the visual language and traditions of a country on the edge of modern transformation. For many collectors today, owning such a coin is not merely about the metal itself but about holding a physical reminder of Britain's evolving national story, its royal symbols and its changing economic landscape. This connection to heritage is one reason the 1963 1 shilling continues to draw interest from numismatists. The coin weighs approximately 5.65 grams and is composed of cupronickel, a durable alloy that replaced silver in shillings starting in 1947. This metal composition allowed the coins to resist wear better than their silver predecessors, which is why even pieces that have circulated widely can still retain much of their original detail. The fine condition of today's featured coin indicates that while it experienced regular handling during its working life, it has avoided excessive damage or corrosion, making it visually pleasing and collectible. There are several noteworthy facts associated with the 1963 1 shilling that enhance its desirability. It is part of the early portrait era of Queen Elizabeth II, which many collectors actively seek to complete full sets of. The English reverse design with the standing lion beside the crown shield appears only on the English issue shillings, making it a necessary piece for anyone building a complete run of British shillings prior to decimalisation. Its age, combined with the fact that many coins from the early 1960s were heavily circulated and later withdrawn in the 1970s, means that examples in fine condition or better are now increasingly appreciated. In terms of rarity, the 1963 1 shilling is not the rarest in the series, but its availability is decreasing each year as collectors continue to secure higher quality examples for their collections. Coins in fine condition, like the one displayed today, are particularly valued among hobbyists who enjoy pieces that retain sharp portraits, readable legends, and recognizable design features. As demand continues to rise for mid-century British pre-decimal coins, the market steadily reflects this growing interest. At present, the market value of a 1963 1 shilling in fine condition tends to sit in the range of approximately $25,000 to $30,000 US, with some sellers listing slightly higher depending on the clarity of detail and the appeal of the specific coin. While this may not seem like an extremely high figure, its value is increasing gradually, and many collectors consider it a worthwhile and attractive addition, especially as demand for pre-decimal sets remains strong. For enthusiasts looking to build or expand a collection, paying attention to detail is essential. It is wise to inspect the portrait of the Queen for crisp lines, check the lion and shield for definition, and ensure that the rim and lettering remain clear and intact. Storing coins in protective sleeves or capsules helps prevent further wear, and seeking coins from reputable sellers ensures authenticity. As more individuals worldwide take interest in British numismatic history, particularly in the iconic designs of the pre-decimal era, well-kept shillings from the early 1960s are becoming increasingly sought after. Bringing all of this together, the 1963 1 shilling stands as a charming and historically meaningful coin with a design that captures the enduring spirit of the United Kingdom. Its fine condition makes it appealing to both entry-level collectors and seasoned experts, offering an affordable yet culturally rich piece of Britain's monetary heritage. By holding this coin, one gains not only a small part of the country's past but also an understanding of the artistry, symbolism, and everyday life of a period that played a key role in shaping the modern UK. This makes the 1963 1 shilling not just a collectible item, but a treasured link to a fascinating chapter of British history.